Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we're going to see question set number 16. So question set number 16 is the first video of this big question they've given here. So let's see what the question is about. The marks of the term examinations of Kaluvila Junior College are still recorded in books. Because of this, the principal has to spend a lot of time when he needs to check the marks of the students. Therefore, the principal has decided to include the term marks of all students studying in his school in a computer system. The software was developed by a software development company called AISoft. The software should be able to store all students' term scores and student assessment scores. The principal has decided to develop this software to include the marks of students in grade 11 as the first stage of this software. You work as a senior software engineer at this company. You and your team are tasked with creating database here and the SQL query used to provide the following requirements. So in this question, they've told us to create a database for a school called Kaluvila Junior College. That school's principal has decided to create a software to store the data of students, marks, term exams, also assessment scores, everything into a computer system software. So this software was developed by a software development company called AISoft. They've told us to assume that we work as a senior software engineer in that particular company. After developing this software, the principal has decided to enter the marks of grade 11 students as the first stage of this software. So they've given a few questions. First question is about creating the database, and they've told us to name the database as exam marks db. So they specifically told us to create this database using the ER diagram method. If you look at the second question, they've told us to create a table called student to store students' data, and they've given the instructions to how to create the table. Also, there are three questions telling us to create the table. So let's see one by one. And first of all, let's create the database. For this question set, I'm going to use MySQL Workbench database software. So you can see the interface of MySQL Workbench software. They've specifically told us to create the database using an ER diagram. First of all, we should create an ER diagram. So if you want to create an ER diagram, you should go to click File and you should select New Module. After that, there will be an interface to create the database. You can rename it by double clicking over it. So let me rename it as exam marks db. So you can see the database which we created. So if you want to create an ER diagram, you can click on add diagram. So you will get a space like this. This is where you're going to create an ER diagram. So if you go to the second question, create a table named student. They've told us to create a table called student to store students' data. And also they've given instructions on how to create the table. First of all, if you see, you can see they've specifically told us give a primary key to the first column called index number. When we go to the third question, in that question they've told us to give an auto increment and a primary key to that first column. So in this column, they didn't tell us to give a auto increment. So the reason is, if we give an auto increment, we cannot use a unique ID in that specific space. If we use auto increment, we cannot use a unique ID in that particular space. If we don't use auto increment, we can give whatever ID to that particular column. So that's the benefit in this. And also, if you see the data type here, they've given integer, and in this table they've given the data type as varchar. If the data type is varchar, it should be a text. So let's create our student table. So I created the first table called student. So let's move on to the third question. So in the third question, they've told us that in that particular school there are 2 grade 11 classes. So we need to create a table called class to store the details of those classes. So they've given the instructions how to create the table. So let's create this class table. This is the option to make auto increment. So we created our second table. The third question they've given. If you look at the fourth question, they've told us to create a table called subject to store subjects taught in the school. So they've also given the instruction to how to create this particular table. Let's create this subject table as we created the tables above. So I created third table. So we are in the last question of this question set 16. They have told us to create a table called exam term to store the term tests in the school. So they've also given the instructions on how to create this table. Let's create the table. So I created the fourth table. If we see the question set number 16, first of all, they told us to create a database called exam marks db using the ER diagram method, and we created 4 tables: student, class, subject, and exam term table. And this question set 16 is all about creating tables. So in the upcoming question sets 17, 18, 19, and 20, we are going to go through the questions of this particular main question. Let's meet in the next video with question set 17.